Coming up on today's show, Tesla makes some pricing changes to the Model S and Model X vehicle lineup, Volkswagen's Electrify America, BMW and Nissan all announce new charging network programs independently from one another, and a self-driving Chevrolet Bolt EV faces off against a Raccoon. These stories and more coming next on 10. Like all our content, today's show is funded by the in-stream ads on today's video and by the kind donations of viewers like you. Follow the link at the end of today's video to make a monthly donation to our Patreon crowdfunding campaign to help keep us independent and impartial. And if you're already donating, thanks for your continued support. It's Friday, April 21st, 2017. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and this is T.E.N, the weekly news roundup show that gives you the latest in cleaner, greener, safer and smarter vehicle news in a sweetened, condensed form, or with 0 calories, of course. As I hinted last week, it was the Shanghai Auto Show this week, and as you might expect, there were a plethora of different electric cars being displayed for the Chinese market. Among them were concept vehicles from Volkswagen and its luxury arm, Audi. The former showcased the ID Crozz, the latest all-electric 300-plus mile concept car in the ID fully autonomous, all-electric concept car family, which Volkswagen says previews a possible production SUV in the not-too-distant future. The latter showcased the Audi e-Tron Sportback concept, a coupe sort of SUV that it says will come to market following the launch of the Audi e-Tron SUV in 2018. Like the ID Crozz, it boasts a range of about 300 miles per charge, comes with second-generation CCS quick charging and a sub-5-second 0 to 62 miles per hour, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour sprint time. I can't cover all the plug-in cars that were in Shanghai, but it's worth noting here that Toyota also admitted this week that it's Chinese market demand for plug-in cars that's causing it to rethink its love with hydrogen and former politics on EVs. So, thanks China! This week, Tesla made some big changes to the Model S and Model X lineup, removing the Tesla Model S 60 and 60D from sale, slashing $7,500 off the price of a Model S 75, and making a full-length glass roof standard across the whole Model S range, along with an automatic tailgate. At the same time, Tesla made some tweaks to the Model X lineup, including a new set of 20-inch wheels and a new optional center console for the second-row Model X when configured as a 6-seat car. Sadly, there were some price hikes too. Flagship Model S and Model X cars, both the standard 100D and P100T variants, get a price hike in a few weeks' time, with the Model X P100D getting the largest price increase to put its MSRP at $145,000. Better get saving. While we're on the subject of Tesla, it's just announced that it will be holding its annual shareholder meeting on June 6th this year at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California. Since it happens every year, it's hardly a big deal unless you happen to be a Tesla shareholder who is keen on having a say in how Tesla runs itself. Sadly, you can only attend if you owned Tesla shares on or before April 13th this year, so if you just made your Tesla stock purchase after that date, you're going to have to wait until next year to attend. Sorry. If you're a fan of a certain rocket raccoon, he's my secret bae, you'll know he's a no-nonsense bipedal raccoon with a bit of an attitude produced by genetic manipulation of animals on the planet Half-World. And you'll know that he demands respect wherever he goes. Usually here on Earth, raccoons are seen as something of a nuisance by many, and if you happen to encounter them at night on the road, often come off worse than you or your car. But this week, a video surfaced of a chance encounter between a self-driving Chevrolet Bolt EV, part of GM's Cruise autonomous driving program, and a raccoon. Not only did the car detect the little critter walking across the road, at an intersection no less, but it waited patiently until Rocket's cousin had made their way all the way safely to the other side. Aww. And if you think it was a publicity stunt, then think again. Firstly, I don't think you could train a raccoon to do that on cue, and secondly, not even the tiniest, cutest kid fursuiters come in that smaller size. Sorry. Sometimes this show goes weeks without discussing charging infrastructure for electric cars, and then suddenly we get a bunch of stories about charging networks. And this week is one such week, with Volkswagen's Electrify America, BMW and Nissan all announcing their own stories about charging networks. Electrify America first. It published more details this week of the first phase of its proposed nationwide EV charging network, paid for by the fund Volkswagen set up as penance for building diesel cars designed to cheat in emissions testing. marketing. Under that scheme, it will invest as many as 240 highway-adjacent charging stations throughout 39 US states, joining up east and west coasts. 66 miles apart on average and no more than 120 miles between them, sites will include between 4 and 10 high-powered, standard-agnostic charging stations capable of providing between 150 and 320 kilowatts of power each, which I'm really happy about because this should dramatically change how easy it is to travel across the US in an electric car that isn't a Tesla. BMW next. It announced midweek that it would be installing up to 100 charging stations in or near America's national parks, in a bid to make it easier for electric car drivers to enjoy the fun and beauty that the nation's national parks have to offer. Finally, Nissan, operating in partnership with EVgo, announced at the start of the week that it would be funding a new DC quick charging corridor up the US East Coast, joining cities like Washington, DC, New York, and Boston together. While the charging stations will initially be programmed to provide around 50 kilowatts of power, the new charging corridor is going to be pre-wired to make it ready for 150 kilowatt charging in the near future, making me wonder if that's the new charging speed we'll see for next generation Nissan Leafs when the car debuts this fall. Watch this space. When Hyundai announced the 124-mile Ioniq EV last year, I've got to admit that I and other commentators were a little more than derogatory about the thing, especially given the market launch of the Chevrolet Bolt EV, the upcoming Tesla Model 3, and the upcoming next-gen Leaf. But this week, Hyundai unveiled details of a new ownership program for the Ioniq EV that make the mid-range electric car a little more appealing. A no-nonsense 36-month deal that might look like a lease, but includes everything, including tax, title, license, and fees, not to mention charging, service, and wear for the first 50,000 miles. There are no mileage caps, and it all starts from just $305 per month after you've put $2,500 down as a down payment. Sadly, the program is only available for now in California, but there's hope that the program will expand to other markets. Given it does away with the usual nasties of leasing a car, like overage mileage limits, then I think there are going to be plenty of takers at this price. What do you think? We may be eagerly awaiting the Tesla semi-unveiling this September, especially after industry analysts say that it will revolutionize the trucking world. But this week, Toyota unveiled its own attempt to take on the trucking world with Project Portal, a hydrogen fuel cell system designed to make heavy-duty trucks zero-emission. Trialled at the Port of Los Angeles, the system uses not one, but two hydrogen fuel cell stacks from a Toyota Mirai fuel cell sedan, combined with a 12-kilowatt lithium-ion battery. Sadly, we don't know how big the motors are, but in total there's 670 horsepower and 1,325 pound-feet of torque at the wheels. Toyota says range is about 200 miles per fill when operating in Class 8 load operations, but being just a concept vehicle at the moment, there's no details as to if this will ever make it into production. Oh, and if you can get the reference behind the title above for this segment, you win an extra point. Leave your answer in the comments below. Our next story is news of a voluntary recall involving a total of 53,000 Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X cars following a discovery that the electronic parking brake, made by third-party brake specialist Brembo, of cars made between February and October 2016 could contain a small gear that may have been improperly manufactured. Less than 5% of the vehicles being recalled by Tesla are believed to be affected, but Tesla being Tesla, those 53,000 cars are being recalled just to be sure. Repair time, or rather replace time, will be about 45 minutes, says Tesla. As usual, customers will be contacted by Tesla directly to arrange the necessary appointment to fix the affected cars. As you know, we cover all forms of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation here on the show, and our next story focuses on the maiden flight of a very special vehicle indeed, the Lilium Jet, an all-electric vertical takeoff and landing jet, or flying car, that its creators hope one day will offer automated taxi services to customers around the world. This prototype jet seats just two and can take off in very small spaces by rotating its wing-mounted electric fans downward to create lift. Once airborne, those then rotate so that they're parallel to the ground, giving the plane forward thrust. Eventually, the Lilium Jet will seat 5 or more people, but for now, this is one impressive vehicle. Also announced at the same week was a second flying car, the Aeromobile from Slovakia. And it feels like electric personal air travel is just around the corner. Welcome to the future, everyone. It might have been unveiled a long time ago, but series production of the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid plug-in minivan has taken a rather long time to get going, with only a trickle of vehicles making it off the production line for sales and press purposes thus far. But now, after a long wait, customers are finally getting their plug-in hybrid minivans, long after the model first debuted, and to apologise for the hold-up, Fiat Chrysler is now giving customers a free charging station for their home to sweeten the deal. Sure, it has an internal combustion engine, and yes, it's about the same price as a fully laden Chevrolet Bolt EV, but the Pacifica Hybrid minivan is currently the only plug-in hybrid minivan on the market, so it's going to be interesting to see just what the sales are like moving forward, especially given how reluctant FCA has been in the past to promote plug-in cars. Do you like the idea of it? Do you want one? Or is its meagre 33-mile EPA range putting you off? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And finally, if you're a fan of two-wheeled goodness, the chances are you, at some point, if your significant other is less than happy about them, that you've had that moment when you've tried to justify buying another motorcycle, and usually you'll find yourself making some pretty lame excuses. Well, the folks at Zero Motorcycles just leveraged that with a new 2.5-minute ad that's pure genius, turning the notion on its head in a light-hearted way that demonstrates just why electric motorcycles beat traditional motorcycles hands down. The tagline? It's for us. You should watch it when I'm done, because you're going to enjoy it. And you won't have to wait long, because that's your lot for today. As always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Visit transportevolved.com for more cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation news, or join in the conversation on Twitter @TransportEvolved. And if you liked what you saw today and want to help us make more shows like this, please do consider making a donation to our Patreon crowdfunding campaign. There's a link for it in the description below and a clickable one at the end of today's video. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next week. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. That was T.E.N. Have a fantastic weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.